Dave Weld in back of the cooler in Rock Falls. And Dave, you were going to tell me a story about when you were in college and you did an interview with Gatemouth Brown.
It was about 71 or 2, maybe 73. And I was talking with Jim O'Neill, Living Blues. He started Living Blues magazine. And he said, Gatemouth is, he's up in Winnemucca. I think it was a Stardust. I can't remember the name of the casino, but he was playing a casino up there, and he had like a month to play there. So I went up there. I got in the old 67. I had a Ford, a Galaxy 500, and it was red and stick shift. And I went up there, and I had no idea how long it took to get there. I mean, and I didn't bring much money at all. You know, I wasn't into planning at those days, you know, and so, and I kept driving and driving. Pretty soon I got in this desert area in Nevada, and it was way north. Winnemucca's way north, Nevada. And so I finally got there, and I met this guy, Gatemouth, and he was real friendly, and he was telling me all this stuff, impressing me because I was a young kid, and he had his big old hat, and he was talking about how he was honorary sheriff in this small town in New Mexico where he lived, and introduced me to the band, and we started going through these tapes of all the bands he had, like the Lionel Hampton band, and he had, as his band for a while, and going through Duke Records and all the guys he used, and coming up, playing with T-Bone, and how he, at the Peacock, he jumped up, and T-Bone had stomach flu, so Gatemouth jumped up and took over the show, and he got a big start that way, and that was in Houston, Texas, and then he took me out for a ride in his old Jeep. We went up the side of the mountain, way up in the mountain, and on the way down he got wild, and he was rolling on 2 wheels and stuff, and he lost his hat. It fell out in the ravine and stuff, and so we got back, and the guys in the band decided to play a trick on me. They said, you can get all the stuff you want from the salad bar, it's free, And so I was hungry, so I went and got everything I could, and then I got this big bill for like $10, and I started cussing at the guy, and I caused a big scene, and because that was a lot of money for me back then.
Right.
So we got the interview done. I got it all on tape, and back then I was smoking reefer all the time, and then the thing is, I always tried to hide it from Gatemouth. And if you know Gatemouth, that's the funniest thing in the world. Because that guy Gatemouth, he had it all the time. He had it all. He used to smoke this stuff on stage.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was his claim to fame. He just loved the reefer, and I was trying to hide it from him. So I had it in a little bundle in my car, and I'd go out and sneak out and get all paranoid smoking it, And so then we're done with the interview, and I started driving home, and I was really slow for money right then, and right around Arizona there's a cow in the road, and it had been hit by a car, and I didn't see it. My brakes were bad, and one side was the cow, the other side was the ravine, a big drop off, you couldn't survive that.
Really?
So I chose to hit the cow. I went up on this cow, and I couldn't get down off of it. and so
tottering on the cow?
Yeah, and the cow was moaning, and he was taking a crap, and the cow, I couldn't get it off there. And then somebody drove by and said, "We're going to call the police," and they took off, and the police were coming, so then this other car drove up. He said, you know, if the cops catch you, this is a big fine in this state, you know, it's a big penalty for that. So they pushed me off this cow, and I got going. And I finally made it. I drove all night past the border, you know, in Arizona. And I found a place to sleep in New Mexico in the desert. And so I took my little stash of pot, and I hid it in the dirt near where I was sleeping. So when I woke up in the morning, all these field mice had eaten the pot. They ate that stuff, you know. And so, you know, I mean, you know, I just didn't want to be caught. So I drove all the way home. I think I had $10. And I got home. Turns out my girl, this dude I know, had been staying with my girl the whole time. Staying with the whole time. And I got back, and so I had to face that when I got back. But, so it was an eventful trip, you know. And I just published the article then. I published it, and I can't remember the magazine. I don't think I published it in Living Blues. I think it was a Swedish blues magazine, and they took it. And I knew Gatemouth ever since then. I knew. I went to visit him another time at his house in New Mexico, and then I went to visit him in New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah. And
so you living in New Orleans then?
Yeah, and that's his hometown. I mean, he loved New Orleans, and he had nice. And he always, you know, he was always hustler, you know, Gatemouth. So he was always looking for publicity. So yeah, put this in the article, put this in the magazine, you know, get this out for me, you know. And he was all right, you know.
Good guy. Huh?
Yeah, I was sorry to see him go, you know. So the last time I saw Gatemouth, it was on the Norwegian, the blues cruise, and we had just had this record for Earwig, Earwig music, and it was featuring me and Little Ed. Little Ed had quit his band, the Blues Imperials, and come to join mine, and that was the second time he did it. And we did this record for Michael Frank called Keep On Walking. It's a pretty good record, and so we got this tour to go down to the blues cruise, and it was a good one. And Gatemouth was there, and Ruth Brown, and Jimmy Thackeray, Eddie Shaw, and Charles Brown. I met him down there. I met Bonnie Raitt down there, and Taj Mahal.
Cool.
And then the last time I saw Gatemouth, you know, he was at our show, and he came in, and we were playing, and I said, oh, there's Gatemouth Brown. So I played You Got Money, his old standard, and he was pissed off. He stood there like this the whole time. You know, he was mad. You know, he was mad. You know, I don't know why that'd make him mad, but you know, that was just his. And I said, that's from Gatemouth Brown. I said Gatemouth Brown about 50 times. You know, finally he cracked a smile. You know, he cracked a smile. So
maybe he wanted you to invite him up on stage.
I don't know. I don't think so. But and then we seen him drive off. He waved, tipped his hat, you know, and that's the last time I ever saw him. You know.
Really?
Yeah. You know, when we unloaded off the ship.
Huh.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw him. So I'm sorry to see he's gone. You know.
Yeah.
He was a great.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me that memory there, Dave.
Yeah. Well,
appreciate that.
The things I do remember, I don't smoke reefer now, so I got some of my memory left. You know.
Well, that's good. Damn mice, they got you.
Yeah, they got me. It was only about, you know, it was in the days when you could get a full weighted ounce for $10.
Really?
Yeah, of Mexican, you know, gold, you know, no stems, you know.